Today we will be starting with class 6th polity ncert chapter 2nd, that is diversity and discrimination. So today's agenda of the chapter will be, first I'll read out the whole page text for you, then I'll explain it to you. So in the previous chapter we have discussed the meanings of diversity. Sometimes people who are different from others are teased, laughed, or are not included in a certain activity or group. We feel hurt, angry, helpless, or sad when friends or others treat us in such ways. Have you ever wondered why this happens? In this chapter, we will try and explore how such experiences are related to the society we live in. We will look at how they are connected to the inequalities that exist around us. So this is the you can see this is the picture where diversity has been shown. Okay, now we'll discuss about difference and prejudice. Difference and prejudice. There are many things that make us what we are: how we live, the languages we speak, and what we eat, where the games we play and things we celebrate. All of these are influenced both by geography and history of the place where we live. You will get an idea of how diverse India is if you look even briefly at the following statement. There are 8 major religions in the world. Every single one of them is practiced in India. We have more than 1600 languages. There are people's mother tongues and there are more than 100 dance forms. Yet this diversity is not always celebrated. This is because we feel safe and secure with people who look, talk, dress and think like us. Sometimes when we meet people who are very different from us, we may find them strange and unfamiliar. At times we may not understand or know the reasons why they are different from us. People also form certain attitudes and opinions about others who are not like them. Okay, so what we understood from this first page: diversity in India. Sorry, I'm extremely sorry. Yes, diversity in India, with its diverse culture, languages, and traditions, is influenced by geography and history. However, this diversity is not always celebrated, as people may find others strange or uncomfortable, leading to prejudice. So let's move on to our next chapter. Sorry, next page. Okay, basically here prejudice box has been given. Look at the statements below that you believed to be true about rural and urban life in India. Tick mark those that you agree with. Do you have a prejudice against the rural or urban people? So here a question has been asked. You can answer that in your mind as well. Find out if this is shared by others and discuss the reasons why people have these prejudices. Can you list some of the prejudices that you have noticed around you? How do they affect the ways in which people treat each other? On rural people, more than 50% of all Indians, more than 50% on rural people, more than 50% of all Indians live in villages. People in villages do not like to use modern technology. In peak harvesting and plantation seasons, families spend 12 to 14 hours working in the fields. Villagers are forced to migrate to cities in search of work. Now we'll discuss on urban people. What are the prejudices? Life in city is easy. People here are spoiled and lazy. In cities, families spend very little time with each other. People in cities not only care about money, not about people. Okay, I'm sorry. People in cities only care about money, not about people. Okay, fine. The next point is living in a city is expensive. A large part of people's earning is spent on rent and transport. What is the other para that is given here? Some of these statements are see villagers as ignorant and see people in cities as money-minded and lazy. When our opinions about certain peoples are always negative, seeing them as lazy, stingy, as some of these statements, then these become prejudices that we carry about them. Prejudice means to judge other people negatively or see them as inferior. When we think that only one particular way is best and right way to do things, we often end up not respecting others who may prefer to do things differently. For example, if we think English is the best language and other languages are not important, we are judging these other languages negatively. As a result, we might not respect people who speak languages other than English. Okay, so we can be prejudiced about many things. um, People's religious beliefs, the color of the skin, the region they come from, the accent they speak in, the clothes they wear, etc. Often our prejudices about others are so strong that we do not want to form friendships with them. At times we may even act in ways that hurt them. So what we inferred from this page, basically we discussed about prejudices. Okay, so prejudices in India, particularly in rural areas, can lead to misunderstanding and prejudices causing in urban area. So prejudices can cause harm and affect relationships between rural and urban population, we can say. Okay, so let's move on to our next page. Creating stereotypes. We'll discuss about creating stereotypes. All of us are familiar with gender differences. What does it mean to be a boy or a girl? Many of you would say we are born as boys and girls. It is given. What is there to think about? Let's say if this is the case. Arrange the sentences given below in these two sections according to what you think is appropriate for the section. They are well behaved, they are soft spoken, they are physically strong, they are naughty, they are good at dance and painting, they don't cry, they are rowdy, they are good at sport, they are good at cooking, they're emotional. If you want, you can pause the video and you can segregate all the characteristics that is mentioned here into girls and boys category. That will be according to the stereotypes that exist in our society, and you can move on. So at the end it is written, and now check with your teacher's help who has put. Okay, it is for the 6th class students. It's meant for them. So we'll skip this portion, right? If we take the statement they don't cry, you will see that this is a quality that is generally associated with boys and men. As babies or children, when boys fall and hurt themselves, their parents and other family members often console them by saying, "Don't cry, you are a boy. Boys are brave, they don't cry." As children grow up, they start believing that boys do not cry, so that even if a boy feels like crying, he stops himself from doing so. He also believes that crying is a sign of weakness. So even though both boys and girls sometimes want to cry, especially if they are angry or in pain. Okay, here some pictures has been given. It is about the people who are specially abled. Okay, you can pause if you want to read. You can pause the page and read them. Okay, children you see here in the illustrations were seen as disabled. The term has been changed, and now the term uses children with special needs. Children with special needs. Stereotypes about them are given in large letters. Their own feelings and thoughts too are given. Discuss that these children as what these children are saying about stereotypes regarding them and why. Do you think children with special needs should be a part of regular schools or study in a separate school? Give reasons for your answer. If you want, you can answer this question in the comment section below. So what we inferred from these two pages, gender stereotypes often perpetuate gender stereotypes often perpetuate the belief that boys don't cry despite being well behaved, soft spoken and physically strong. This belief, despite being true for both boys and girls, often lead to them suppressing emotions despite their inherent qualities. So in this page, the term disabled has been replaced with children with special needs, highlighting common stereotypes and their own feelings. Question arises whether these children should be part of regular schools or separate ones. Let's move on to our next page. Yes. As they grow older, boys learn or teach themselves not to cry. If a grown boy cries, then he feels that others will either tease him or laugh at him, and so he stops himself from doing so in front of others. This is the way boys and this is how girls are. These are statements we hear constantly and accept without even thinking, and we start believing that each one of us must behave accordingly. We fit all boys and all girls into an image that society creates around us. Here a small snippet has been given. You can take other statements such as they are soft and gentle or they are well behaved and discuss how these are applied to girls. Do girls possess these qualities at birth or do they learn such behavior from others? What do you think about girls who are not soft and gentle and those who are naughty? When we fix people into one stereotype, when people say that those who belong to a particular country, religion, sex, race, or economic background are stingy, lazy, criminal, or dumb. Okay, stingy, lazy, criminal, or dumb. They are using stereotypes. They are stingy and generous people everywhere. In every country, in every religion. Okay, in every group, whether rich or poor, male or female. And just because some people are like that, it is not fair to think that everyone will be the same. Obviously. So stereotypes stop us from looking at each person as a unique individual and his or her own special qualities and skills that are different from others. They fit large numbers of people into only one pattern or type. Stereotypes affect all of us. They prevent us from doing certain things that we might otherwise be good at. I will discuss about inequality and discrimination. Discrimination happens when people act on their prejudices or stereotypes. If you do something to put other people down, if you stop them from taking part in certain activities and taking up jobs, or stop them from living in a certain neighborhood, prevent them from taking water from the same well, or hand pump, or not allow them to drink tea in the same cups or glasses as others, you're discriminating against them, right? Discrimination can take place because of several reasons. You probably recall from the previous chapter that Samir, Ek and Samir though were different from each other in many ways. For example, they belong to different religions. This is an aspect of diversity. However, this diversity can also be a source of discrimination. Groups of people who may speak a certain language, follow a particular religion, live in specific regions, etc., may be discriminated against as their customs or practices may be seen as inferior. Another difference between the two Samirs was in their economic background. Samir, though, was poor. This difference, as they have read earlier, is not a form of diversity but of inequality. People who are poor do not have the resources or money to meet their basic needs of food. Okay, let's read about the small snippet. This one is visible, right? Dalit is a term that people belonging to so-called lower castes use to address themselves. They prefer this word to untouchable. Dalit means those who have broken. This word, according to Dalit, shows how social prejudices and discrimination have broken the Dalit people. The government refers to this group of people as scheduled caste. So let's resume. The sources or the money to meet the basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter. They experience discrimination offices in hospitals, schools, etc., where they are treated badly because they are poor. Some people may experience both kinds of discrimination. They are poor and they belong to groups whose culture is not valued, tribals, some religious groups, and even particular regions are discriminated against for one or more of these reasons. In the following section, we will look at how a famous Indian was discriminated against. This will help us understand the ways in which caste was used to discriminate against large number of people. So if you want, you can answer these questions in the comment section below. What is the difference between discrimination and stereotypes? How do you think a person who is discriminated against might feel? Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, one of the greatest leaders of India, shares his first experience of caste-based discrimination, which took place in 1901 when he was just 9 years old. He had gone with his brothers and cousins to meet his father in Koregaon, which is now in Maharashtra. If you want, you can read this story. I'll summarize this whole story for you. Okay, picture has been given. This is Bhimrao Ambedkar and his brother and what happened. If you want, you can pause and read the video. Sorry, read the page. Okay. The story continues here also. I will read. We'll read this small snippet. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, 1891 to 1956, is considered the father of the Indian Constitution and is also best known leader of the Dalits. Dr. Ambedkar fought for the rights of the Dalit community. He was born into Mahar caste, which was considered untouchable. The Mahar were poor, owned no land, and children born to them also had to do the work their parents did. They lived in spaces outside the main village and were not allowed into the village. Dr. Ambedkar was the first person from his caste. You can see picture right here, who completed his college education and went to England to become a lawyer. He encouraged Dalits to send their children. He encouraged Dalits to send their children to school and college. He also urged Dalits to take on different kinds of government jobs in order to move out of caste system. He led many efforts of Dalits to gain entry into temples. Later in life, he converted to Buddhism in his search for a religion that treated all members equally. Dr. Ambedkar believed that Dalits must fight the caste system and work towards a society based on respect, not just for a few but for all persons. Okay. So what we inferred from previous pages is that stereotypes, societal constructs that conform to one image can lead to inequality and discrimination affecting diverse groups like religions and ethnicities. We discussed about Dalits also, right? Dalits. Dalits faced significant discrimination in India, highlighting social prejudices and poor treatment. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's 1901 what happened with him in 1901 experience underscores the need to address marginalized groups. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, father of the Indian Constitution and a prominent Dalit leader, fought for their rights and encouraged education and converted to Buddhism. So discrimination in social and political life impacts lower caste communities. Discrimination, okay? Discrimination in social and political life impacts lower caste communities and individuals with special needs experienced prejudice and witnessing incidents help understand its impact. Okay, so I'm giving you the summary of the upcoming pages. India's Constitution of 1947. India's Constitution. India's Constitution of 1947 aimed to ensure equality for all citizens, abolishing discrimination and promoting freedom of religion, language and expression. Leaders like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar fought for the rights of the Dalits and fought for the rights of marginal communities. This led to India becoming a secular country, promoting unity and respect for diversity. This chapter highlights existence of inequalities in India, emphasizing need for continuous striving for equality through people's struggle and government actions. If you want, you can read out the small snippet. Imagine how difficult it would be if people could not move easily from one place to other. How insulting and hurtful it is to have people move away, refuse to touch you, or allow you to drink water from the same source as they do. You can read this as well by pausing the video. This is a picture of women demanding for their rights. Okay. Striving for equality. Wait a second. Yes. Striving for equality. The struggle for freedom from British rule also included within it the struggle of large groups of people who not only fought against the British but also fought to be treated more equally. Dalits, women, tribals, and peasants fought against the inequalities they experienced in their lives. As pointed out earlier, many Dalits organized themselves to gain entry into temples. Women demanded that they should have as much a right to education as men did. Peasants and tribals fought to release themselves from the grasp of the moneylender and the high interest they were charged. When India became a nation in 1947, our leaders too were concerned about the different kinds of inequalities that existed. Those who wrote the Constitution of India, a document that laid out the rules by which the nation would function. These were the members of the Constitutional Assembly. You can see few of them around here. Yes. By which the nation would function, were aware of the ways in which discrimination has been practiced in our society and how people had struggled against this. Many leaders of these struggles, such as Dr. Ambedkar, had also fought for the rights of the Dalits. So these leaders set out a vision and goals in the Constitution to ensure that all the people of India were considered equal. This equality of all persons is seen as a key value that unites us all as Indians. Everyone has equal rights and opportunities. Untouchability is seen as a crime and has been legally abolished by law. People are free to choose the kind of work they wish to. Government jobs are open to all people. In addition, Constitution also places responsibility on the government to take specific steps to realize the right to equality for poor and other such marginal communities. The writers of the Constitution also said that respect for diversity was a significant element in ensuring equality. They felt that people must have the freedom to follow their religion, speak their language, celebrate their festivals, and express themselves freely. They said, yes, it has been also mentioned, some of the members who wrote the Constitution of India said that no one language, religion, or festival should become compulsory for all to follow. They said that a government must treat all religions equally. Therefore, India became a secular country where people of different religions and faiths have the freedom to practice and follow their religion without any fear of discrimination. This is seen as an important element of our unity, that we all live together and respect one another. Okay, though these ideals are enshrined in our Constitution, this chapter points out that inequalities even exist today. Equality is a value that we have to keep striving for and not something which will happen automatically. People's struggles and positive actions by the government are necessary to make this a reality for all Indians. So you can look at this. This is the preamble of our Constitution of India. Okay, here terms like justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic. Okay, here the date has been mentioned. You can pause the video and read this. So that's all for this chapter today. So stay tuned for more such informational videos like this, and we will be continuing the series like this until this book ends. Thank you so much, guys, and please do like, share, and subscribe my channel.